This video is going to talk about the economic tolls the NFL lockout had on the society. How it all went down. The players formed a union, the NFLPA, also known as the National Football League Players Association, which was made in 1956. The government then stepped in and said, "You are not one entity, but 28 individual teams." This eliminated the monopoly of across-the-board salary caps. Government made the union a certified union, which allowed for collective bargaining, which basically means that the union acts as the players' representatives instead of the player. The owners then formed their own union. The owners asked for special perks to help pay for stadiums. The upkeep of the stadiums became costly, and the owners wanted someone else to cover those costs, which would in turn eliminate the collective bargaining, and in turn make the antitrust laws come into play. The first strike was in 1987. In 1987, they lost $15,000 per game, and in their 24 days of striking, they lost $80 million. That was approximately $4 million a day. The next strike lasted from March 11th to July 25th of 2011. The first big spenders was commercials. Commercials nowadays, you have to pay $3 million for a 30-second commercial. If you take 30 commercials, that equals $90 million, and that's just for the Super Bowl. Fantasy football is the next big thing. That pays around $5 billion. The TV stations like Fox, CBS, NBC, ESPN, and DirecTV pay a combined $4 billion annually in TV rights deals with the NFL. Las Vegas is also losing a lot of money, especially in their sports books, which is looking at around $850 million loss. It would be a killer straight up. It would probably put us out of business, said Mike Presley, manager of a sports bar in Atlanta. He noted that football Sundays account for 20% of his weekly sales, and is 35% more than the next closest day. If you add up lost TV ad revenue and sports activation, canceled fantasy football leagues and websites, empty sports bars, and out-of-work stadium personnel, and the price tag would be somewhere north of $12 billion. Without a strike, the consumer's demand for football is at equilibrium with the supply that the football offers. When you bring the strike into play, the consumer's demand for football increases because the supply of football decreases. The price of sports equipment, apparel, or anything that has to do with football might increase, but will only last for a certain time period, therefore making consumers allocate their money towards other purchases. Not a lot of people think about everything that goes into one game of football, but by eliminating one season can put a ton of people out of jobs: bars, stores, apparel, stadium jobs, ticket salesmen, and even the Madden games. If you take one thing out of the equation, everything will go down like a domino effect.